I will say for the first time, I'm a little about this season. Now, I know Caitlin Clark was on TV and she said that she's confident that they're going to get a deal done in 3 weeks. But the players wanted this in-person meeting with the WNBA officials, and they get there, and we saw the video of like Kelsey Plum and was it Nafisa? They were trying to get to New York and the weather, and they couldn't get there in time, and so they have this meeting. And I think it was who was it who said like this, like they get there and WNBA has like no alternative plan, or they have no proposal for the players, and the players are just like, okay, this was such a waste of time.
Yeah.
The WNBA has the leverage officially. They have the leverage now. So I don't know. That they're playing this like really silent stance, and I think it's working. I think the players are getting frustrated. They're not playing poker anymore like they were playing. And I have a feeling if one side caves in, it is going to be the players right now, as far as the landscape is concerned.
Is the last card they have to play just like getting to that 99% line of like we're calling for a stoppage of play and we are going on lockout. Like that's like the last kind of card it seems like they have to play. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and it kind of feels like they have lost that momentum. And I'm just judging it based on vibes, right? Like it felt like on my Twitter timeline there was just more people outspoken about like how the league's doing these players dirty, and more people in support of the players. But as this is dragged along, and I almost feel like that was the intention by the league, by the owners, drag this out and eventually people will stop caring. And I kind of feel like that's where we are right now, where the fan support behind them has kind of dwindled, not because of lack of caring, but lack of just like, okay, like this is just taking a while. And so I kind of feel like the last move they have to play here is to just is to initiate a lockout. And I don't totally know how that works. You probably have more insight to that than I do.
It would
but
actually be the teams locking out the players. The players could go on strike.
Okay.
Though I don't know if is it technically going on strike if the deal is up? I don't know the terminology, but the next step is for the league to go, okay, we're not negotiating in the way that we want. Thus, we are locking you out. You cannot use our facilities. You're I don't know if the insurance, like I don't know how that works. Like all of these things that you get for being an employee are on hold until you come to an agreement. Now, you come back and they agree that, okay, we are going to have a season and we're going to have to truncate all of these things that still need to happen, like free agency, the draft, all those things. If they just, let's say in 2 weeks or let's say in a month, they're like, you know what, we're going to we have agreed to a deal. People like you and me, we're back, right? We're like, oh yeah, everything's back. This is such a great time. They're not going to lose us. Who they might lose are the people whose interests got piqued, and we're like, Portland, Golden State year 2, Toronto. This is kind of interesting. This looks like a league on the on the up and up. But what happens is, when you are no longer the hottest thing, people are finding other things to do. So this is the opportunity, because right now, what the WNBA as a league should be killing it at, should be getting so much fan interest, is in the marketing because of free agency, these 2 new teams, and this is the 30th season of the WNBA. So whatever marketing they were going to do for that, with their TV partners, with the teams, like you saw there were those videos when the schedule came out. The schedule came out, and all of a sudden, the Twitter accounts and stuff, we're seeing content from them. But those Twitter accounts are dormant right now, because what are they going to tweet about? There's nothing. You're not even sure who's going to be on the team, so you can't really do a lot of player-centric stuff.
The
So,
Valkyries kind of have been doing. It's been a little weird. Like Tip Hayes is in town for the Super Bowl, so is KT, and they're just like doing some content. I'm just like, know if there's a season.
well, so that is the thing that they are losing out on. Is just they had some momentum, and so if it comes out that they do have a season, and maybe the viewership takes a little bit of a step back, that is the fans actively saying, "You had me, but then all of a sudden you allowed me to enjoy other things." And really, what the WNBA needs to be doing right now is going like, all of you new fans who have been here for the last 2 years, we welcome you, and guess what? We are going to feed you more because we know that you are here, and we want you to tell your friend and your family and get them. But right now, they can't say any of that stuff because there's nobody that, like, what are you gonna tell them to do? Yeah, come back. Then, oh, sorry guys, lockout, no season. Season's gonna start 3 months late. Whatever is going to happen. I think there was an opportunity when they said that they were gonna reconvene at the beginning of the year. If they'd have locked it up, I think they would have been fine. But now we are in the first week of February, and the players seem as dejected as ever, and that tells me that the ownerships are actually winning this poker game right now, which is unfortunate because I want, and by winning, by the way, even if the players are losing this deal, they're still coming out on much better than they have in the past. It's just they had some leverage, and it looks like they've taken a step back. So can they look themselves in the mirror and go, guys, we lost this fight, we just have
Mhm.
to accept this, and then we have to improve the next 5 years and come back to the table and just be ready to get what
I
we
don't.
deserve again.
I don't even think they like really overplayed their hand. I kind of just think that the other side's operating and maybe not the best of
The
faith to
t-shirts,
get this deal done.
you had the t-shirts, you had a lot of you had Nafisa Collier calling the woman who runs the league. What did she call her? Like, just she said she's really bad at her job. Like, they were vocal and trying to use the public, and the
Right.
public is there for them, but it is still a small group of fans, right? It's not like the NFL, which has the largest American fan base. Like, if you had that fan base and you're doing this stuff, I think it would have worked because there's so many of them, but they're still pretty small. And I don't think that stuff was necessarily a mistake. I think it created awareness. It was just like your plan should be pay us what they owe us. Now we're getting public, and then plan A, if this works, then what do we do? Plan B, if this doesn't work, then what do we do? It feels like the Players Association had some sort of process or plan, but there was no immediate okay, this is next. Like, here's where we're going next. And maybe they do, and maybe this is part of that. Maybe part of it was like, okay, now we got to be patient and we got to shut up. But it feels
Yeah, I mean,
it feels like they've lost a lot of what they had going back 6 months.
yeah, I mean, I just don't think they were like really operating under like the guise of like we're trying to, we're trying to like we're just trying to score an extra basket than the other team. Like I think they genuinely felt like they had, the means to, or no, not the means, but they had the right, and they had everything was, everything on paper said that they should be getting what they're requesting. And I don't think they were like, we'll do the pay us what you owe us thing. And if that works, it wasn't like, I don't know. I almost think they should go on strike. And I think that, maybe the fans that they lose, I don't imagine that's, the fans that they lose maybe are we talking about the Caitlin Clark crowd that came in for Caitlin Clark? Guess what? Caitlin Clark will be playing basketball again eventually. They'll come back. They have a lot of people down the pipeline that are, it's an exciting league, and you still have Juju coming in. You have all these players coming in. Like I think I'd almost take the bet and go on strike and see, really get what they feel like they're owed, because I think they might have also lost the public support once, the public realized how criminally underpaid they were in terms of like the services they outputted and in terms of like how much money they were generating. It was like, okay, you're making $67,000. Like that's ridiculous. But I think once, it was like, oh, they actually are going to start making $250,000 for, the players that were making 67. Like then I think you started to lose some of like a little bit of the public support. But I think they should. Yeah, man. I wouldn't be as worried about the fans losing interest because I think that it's an exciting league that those fans will be back. And if there are player fans, then that player will be back. And then more players will be coming into the league that have a stand base kind of. And I personally, am not worried about I wouldn't be worried about losing the fans like that. I don't know. I think that's the last card they have to play. And did you see what I guess some of the stuff that came out about that meeting that Kelsey Plum and Nafisa went to, where it's like the WNBA put like a proposal like, oh, we'll give you a free league pass. That's like insulting. They're like legit like, we have the advantage now. Like we're like mocking you. Like don't go for that. Screw that.
We'll give you all a copy of NBA 2K.
Exactly. That's like at the level of disrespect that it was. It's like, we're using your likeness.
We will give you,
and I'm sure you don't have to pay for it.
We won't give you access to our facilities, but we will give you a free pass to 24/7 Nautilus. And you can go work out there with the normies. Look, I wish we had more. I wish we had more insight into these talks or more transparencies, because then we could actually see what's going on. I am just basing it on what I've seen historically over the years. Like, if I was them, I might call up Andre Iguodala and go, hey, man, like, what advice would you give us right now? Andre's the thinking man's professional. He has had the Players Association. Hey, CP3, I know you were the president prior. Like, what would you advise us? You guys went all the way up until December before the season started one year because you guys held out. And see what historically has happened, because NBA players, and especially African American players historically, they had to hold out for a lot. They had to say, hey, the All-Star game, the one game in the NBA that was going to get televised no matter what, we're not going to play this game unless you give us X, Y, and Z. And that's how they use their leverage in those moments. I don't think the current product has those moments unless, again, and I brought this up before many times, unless Caitlin Clark went on TV and was like, you know what, we're not playing. Like, we've done everything we could possibly do, and these owners are just not like that. They're not coming in a fair way. But Caitlin Clark also knows that her fan base is a little different, like you said, than the normal WNBA fan base. So she doesn't want to alienate those people, but that is their card to play, which is that Caitlin Clark card, because she has brought more fans to the TV sets than anybody else in recent memory. But I don't think she wants to be the spokesperson for this stuff. She's so young. She's got a great future. She's got a great brand. But that would be the thing. It's unfair to put all that pressure on her, but that would be the thing where you might get, because of that crazy fan base. I mean, we see it in a small way. Every time we talk about Caitlin, like the Caitlin and Paige debate from last week, I had to answer 30 comments from people who were like, I can't believe dismissive of Caitlin and thinking that she's a terrible player. I'm like, what do you mean? We're giant Caitlin fans. We love Caitlin. No, you said.
Oh, did we really get those comments?
You said that Paige was way better and that she did so many better things than Caitlin. And I'm just like, okay, you even verbatimed the conversation to me. It does not say that anywhere. Like, these people are passionate. Yeah. And by the way, I like answering those comments because it tells me who's out there. And just the fact that people, comment shows some engagement. There were
I think when people comment, like, they don't expect. You're like one of the only people I know that like will put together like a relatively thoughtful response to that stuff. I think they just send it out into the void thinking no one's ever going to respond.
I want them to keep commenting because I'm sure it helps with engagement on the page. But also we're so small, so we need it. But I will go at the Dodger fans though. I will rip them. I will rip them because what the Dodger fans don't understand is they make Dodger posts or clips is because I know the Dodger fan base is so reactive to that stuff and they're gonna come
Yeah,
click
I've
on our
seen it.
thing. So, but I don't mind it. I follow the Dodgers pretty closely. So, anyways, but that's the one thing that they have. They're not going to use it. They shouldn't use it. It'd be unfair to Caitlyn for her to be kind of like the
She also
slippery
doesn't
slope.
have, like, that mindset. She doesn't have, like, that union
She just wants to
mindset
hoop,
that
man. She wants to hoop.
she doesn't care about any of that stuff, and I mean, that's something I think you can critique her on as well. Like, I think, I wish more people, cared about this stuff and stood on business, like, but, not everyone, I guess, just, some people have just not had to worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, all right. Hopefully we'll see some sort of new information about it. It doesn't sound like it right now, but maybe, maybe it's happening in secret and stuff. So, all right. A lot about the Warriors. We talked a lot about this WNBA stuff. We'll be back. By the way, I can't even imagine you're going to watch the Super Bowl. You're so disinterested in both of these teams, right?
I'm actually going somewhere for it. It's actually been crazy. We didn't even say that. The Super Bowl's in Santa Clara, but they're doing all the damn events in San Francisco. And San Francisco decided randomly that they were going to have the best weekend of the entire year weather-wise while all these people came. And now it's all these comments, at least on my Twitter, it's all these comments about basically like Barstool and NFL guys being like, wow, I thought the city sucked, but this is awesome. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's what happens when you just consume the Fox media stuff. And they just tell you that it's just this homeless, like, rotted place and it sucks here. It's like, no, this is one of the most beautiful cities on earth. It's something I've been preaching on this podcast. It's something I said in the You Stay interview where I'm like, this city reminds me of like some of the most fun European cities that I visited. It's one of the few cities in America that I feel like kind of does that. And, now they come and now they see it. And it's like a blessing and a curse because I like the positive PR spin on San Francisco. But at the same time, these aren't the people I want here. These are more of the people with the alienating, you know, mindsets that I don't get with. So the sooner they're out, the better. But I'm happy that there's more of a positive PR spin in San Francisco. Maybe we should just go and screw with the city again to keep the rent prices lower.
I watched 3 movies in the last couple weeks that were based in San Francisco. 48 Hours from 1982, maybe. So much different city, but still very recognizable as San Francisco. Mrs. Doubtfire from 1993, still very recognizable. And Basic Instinct from 1992 or something. So I watched some San Francisco movies. San Francisco.
I'm still knocking out like the heavy hitters for SF movies, being
48
Zodiac
Hours is
and
one of the heavier ones.
I have there's this letterbox list I found, and I'll have to look for it on that list because I'm just going off of what someone made, and it's the the Hitchcock movie. What's that one called? Vertigo. Vertigo. I thought that was one of the better movies I've ever seen in my life. And Zodiac are the two that I've seen, and I want to see Dirty Harry.
Zodiac
Haven't
was
seen that one
awesome.
before,
Dirty Harry
but
is kind of loosely based off of the Zodiac killer.
did not know that. But I know that there's a Dirty Harry scene that's at Washington Square Park, which is, I guess I don't want to dox myself, but I live relatively near that. But in a lot of the Zodiac scenes, like just like I've been to every single. It was nice because I've been to every single one of those places, and I'm very familiar with 80% of the places they went to. So I think that was cool.
Yeah. So I will. Well, we are starting to talk a little movies in our Discord too. So I'll, if I can remember, I'll put a link to the Discord if people want to come through. We're still talking Valkyries. There was a discussion today about the European teams. We're talking Warriors. Every Warriors news that comes up, any 49ers news, any Giants news, we're on top of it all. And we also talk about the NBA and the MLB and the NFL too. So that is all happening in our Golden State Hoop Discord. Okay, that is it from here. For Bry, I am Double G. We will see you when we see you. Peace out.